Our north region is the most retrogressive region in the country. So let's build north before any regional government. So build north with what and with whose resources? With whose money? You better begin to try and cough whatever you can actually cough out of Nigeria as we speak. Because, yes, several times people have had this conversation, and several times a lot of you believe that it's not going to happen. But with a lawless criminal like Tinubu, then you should not sleep and close your eyes. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, Tinubu is being considered as a persona non grata in northern Nigeria, and he is being declared as the anti-North and somebody that is likely going to divide Nigeria, but not the way you want it to be divided, but the way Tinubu wanted it to be divided. And that is creating a confusion that for the first time, the supposed born to rule northern Nigeria, they are worried. Aboki, my friend, don't worry, okay? If you are smart enough, these are just to tell you that Nigeria has been a lie for so long, and you are the manifestation of that lie. You are the proof of that lie. But you can actually stop lying to yourselves now. And let us all start having that conversation. The conversation about this contraption. Because somehow, a generation is actually arising. And that generation is not going to really settle for what we have been forced to settle with or settle for. They will ask questions and they will act too, since they know that we all have short time. We have short time, and with this act of a total contraption of disjointed people who just can't wait to kill ourselves, they are going to act. And you know one thing, the history they fail to teach in schools, a lot of this generation, a lot of us in this generation, we have learned them outside those schools. And we now know why Nigeria is not working. We now know why it will never work. So, Arewa, North, you better brace up. You better brace up. Tinubu has captured Nigeria. And a lot of you deludedly, in your delusion, you really think you gave him that power. You did not. He bought it from those who could stop him. Those who should know. They are not better, but they should probably just know this. And for whatever personal gain that they did it for, you see that your old North is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. There is nothing called the old North anymore. There is nothing called the one North anymore. You might continue to live that lie, okay? Just same as those who are living the lie of one Nigeria. Let's be honest. There is no one Nigeria. You might want to have one Nigeria, okay? But the actions and the inactions of those who are in charge of that contraption, right, will never give you that one Nigeria. What you have always had is many Nigerias. And if you begin to identify yourselves for who you are, this identity crisis may actually come to an end sooner than we all can go back to our lives. And as for those of you who are somehow trying to plant the seed of doubt in the minds of the Yorubas, let me take you down memory lane. History in particular, okay? When we have the southwest Nigeria, I'm talking about the western region, it had its reach to as far as almost half of today's Delta states. At a point, it had the entire Edo before the creation of the Midwestern region, okay? So I'm talking about a place where could be kind of classed as a whole country on its own. And it is the conglomeration of all tribes, ethnic nationalities who share so much in common, okay? So the policies of Obafemi Awolowo at the time that was considered, you know why they said Yoruba, why they call the Western region Yoruba region? It is not because everyone that occupies that space, everyone or every group is Yoruba. No. Yeah, they have so much in common, right? But by the design of the space of, then it was a region of, many nationalities too, or tribes. Give me a sec. So do you get that? But prior to all of that, right, there was there was what you call the Lagos colony. The Portuguese that named Lagos Eko, they named it Lagos. And this was way back in the 15th century or so, or 16th century. The first scholars, they were traders. Okay, so they were referring to the place in their own articles and all that as Lagos, Laos, Portuguese. So they were dealing there with the people living just at the river banks. Okay, but at the other side of the river, there were other tribes, ethnic nationalities like the Ijebus, the Aworis, who are also sharing the same water bank, the Ekpes. Yeah, the Ekpe Alaro Ogunmode days. Okay, they are not Lagosians until they created Lagos. They are on their own a kingdom, Ekpe kingdom. They were close to the water. We had the Aworis, we had the Elajes, we had so many people who were living next to the water who are not Lagos. Then on the dry land, the mainland, right? Where is the place where you actually have real settlement too, up to as far as Ikorodu to Itokin to Ogijo to Shagamu. Shagamu is Remo Ijebu. All these areas are Ijebus. And if you now go to the other side, talking of going through the Egbado, and you begin to come to Ilaro, and then you start coming down to Ota, that is also very next to Lagos and all of those places, right? They are not Lagos, but they existed until they drew the artificial map of creating their states without consultations. The creation of states is, according to them, is to stop any future plan of breaking up of Nigeria by any major ethnic group anymore. And they succeeded. So they started making those of you from Isaleko to start thinking everybody from Ikeja, everyone from Orile, everyone from Ikorodu, and all of you who are part of that same Lagos, you are Lagos and you are not part of Yoruba land. History. Where did you read yours from? You want to use the artificial map. The artificial map designed by the Fulanis and their friends to also continue to fight the demarcated borders in Yoruba land. No, it's not going to succeed. You know why? Apart from those of you who are the political ass slickers benefiting crumbs from this contraption called Nigeria, even the people from Isaleko, they will tell you they are Yorubas and they will be part of Yoruba land. And there's nothing you can do about it. So I saw that, Lagos is not going to be part of any Yoruba land. You know the reason why the conversation around the involvement of the Lagos as part of Yoruba land is kept the way it is right now is because politically, okay, back then, when the Egbas got their independence from the British, just at the late 19th century, okay, December 1891, 1892, when they got their independence and they are like independent country inside the colony, right? The British colony administrators, right, who were controlling the what do you call it, the Ikoyi, Isaleko, that area like that, right? Controlling that place. They were doing everything to make, because they felt like the Egbas, who was as close as to Ikeja, today's Ikeja, their influence was as far as today's Ikeja, in today's Lagos, right? They said they were keeping, just like they did for the northern Nigeria, they were keeping the people of Isaleko, Eko, they were keeping them away from the rest of Yoruba land. because the rest of Yoruba land, they were becoming radical. They were demanding for more autonomy, and they did not want them to corrupt the Lagosians who were like under the British colonial rule. Do you get that now? And they were okay, you know, they have access to all of the imported British stuff. They have access to all of the British education, and like that, sure you get. But all of these things, the Egbas have already acquired them years before they created the Lagos colony, before British created Lagos colony. So the idea is to segregate Lagos away from the rest of Yoruba. Tinubu came, and their own idea remains, all the space they call Lagos State today, we have to cut them up from the rest of Yoruba land, so that you don't have that idea of sharing or participating in the prosperity of this Lagos, because this Lagos is so prosperous. But like the British, the wealth of the land was shared among the British and their representatives, who are also Lagosians. But the real people, boom. So same thing is what Tinubu is doing. The Lagos wealth, okay, is Tinubu's wealth. It is not Yoruba land's wealth. And now they are pushing that idea. Lagos will never join your Yoruba nation. Lagos, if regionalism comes, Lagos is going to remain a colony. Fine. But let the people of that space tell us that. Let the Ijebus in Epe, let the Ijebus in Ikorodu, let them say they are not Yorubas. Okay? And they want to be part of a Lagos colony. Under who? Maybe under Tinubu. That is what is called referendum. Okay? So same thing goes to all of you. Some said, if they now create the Lagos colony, maybe Tinubu that is now building you Coastal Road. So the people of Lagos colony, Lagos coastal colony, they will just have to kind of have a one-way road straight to the people of the creek in the Ijo, Yoruba, Ishekiri land over there at the coastal. And some of them said, no, they would need visa. No coastal road will bring you to the Niger Delta, they called it. So the bottom line is this. A lot of people are realizing the fraud. They are realizing the lies called Nigeria. And some of them are shocked to discover some of this truth. Like, I didn't know that. Now you do. Listen to me. The Arewa criminal leaders, they intentionally underdeveloped Arewa land. And because they could live off the rest of Nigeria, to continue to enjoy the luxury, the private jet, the private this and all of that they have, they don't believe in creating wealth. And that is why you will see majority of the northern billionaires, they became billionaires from stealing money from Nigeria. All of them, pata pata. If you bring me Ogun, bring Ogun now, I will swear. Begin to probe everybody who is a billionaire in northern Nigeria and tell me what they created. You will realize that they became billionaires because at a point in time, the money of Nigeria that they allocated to northern Nigeria ended in private pocket of all these criminals. Today, they are the Kinigok in market. They are Kinigok in all of that bullshit. If you created your wealth, you should never be worried. Remember, the richest man in Africa, Dangote, is from Kano. And Kano is going to be part of Arewa region. Right? So if Dangote could become a billionaire, then the northern Nigeria can survive. So you are not going to be a victim at all. Those who are going to tell you not to support regional system, they are those who are already looking forward to be like their own criminal leaders. They are looking forward to be governors. They are looking forward to become senators. looking forward to shall hold any political office. So they too will have access to public fund and become sudden overnight billionaires from northern Nigeria. They will never want to do any of this on their own. And that is the reality. And that is why some of them says, if Nigeria wants to break up, wait for me to loot my own money first. These are the people who are telling you and preaching that the breakup of Nigeria or regionalism is going to make one poor or make others rich. That is not how it works. It will first actually make all of us manage our own affairs and then be responsible for our success or failures. Sudan. You know about Sudan. Now, for years, Sudan, which is a very big, one of the biggest countries in Africa, Sudan was fused together. The Southern Sudan, majorly Christians, okay, colonized partly by, English or the British. Then the Northern Sudan, colonized by the Islamic, sort of a teachings kind of, and French. So they choose to be Islamist in the north, and they choose to be, Christian and others in the south. The resources of Sudan is domiciled in the south, as well as the north as well. Now, it's pretty much like Sudan is like Nigeria, okay? Now, you see, the northern Sudan is mostly desert, preferably, but they also have their own resources like mines, where they actually mine gold and other resources like that. But Southern Sudan, vegetarian area with crude oil and abundant resources. So they wanted their independence. They were supposed to be a great country in control of their own resources. I am using Sudan not because it's a good example. It is just to tell you that breaking up away from Nigeria is not a fait accompli. It's not like, like your fate is sealed. Your fate is just in your hands. Now, the Igbos will not be able to say the Fulanis are holding us. The Hausa Fulanis, they will not be able to say the Yorubas are holding us, as well as others too. Nobody will be able to blame anyone but themselves. That is what it means to be regionally autonomous, regional autonomy. But the criminals who are benefiting from this rot, they would make you believe otherwise. Ask them what they have done with all the money they've gotten in the last 64 years. What gives you the assurance that the next 64 years is going to be better than the last 64 years? Why would you want to subject yourselves and even your own children, your children's children, to that? Why? So that's why this conversation has to happen. It must happen. And Nigeria will break because there lies our survivor, the survivor of our species. Or else we're all going to have to be killed or die. So if anybody is afraid of the regional autonomy and all of that, it is because they are listening to those who are benefiting from this contraption now. But are you benefiting from this contraption? You. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Don't look back. Are you benefiting from this Nigeria? Economically, security, prosperity, human rights protection, citizenship rights. Is there anything you can actually practically say you are going to lose if Nigeria breaks? Listen, if you are watching me from northern Nigeria, is there anything you think you are going to lose? Something you are benefiting now, that if Nigeria breaks or the regional system is introduced, that you think you are going to lose? Tell me. Is it 24 hours electricity? Is it a standard education? Or the access to the same education? Is it the access to better healthcare that you are going to miss? Is it security that you are going to miss? Tell me that exact thing. That if Nigeria goes regional, you are benefiting now as a northerner, that you are going to stop benefiting. Except for that your deluded, imaginary, born to rule mentality. You are born to rule, abi you are born to suffer. In reality, are you born to rule or you are born to suffer? I think it is the latter. You are born to suffer, but do you want to keep suffering? So if anybody tells you breaking up of Nigeria, regional system of government is going to make your life worse, tell them or ask them, how has being part of Nigeria make your lives better right now? Those of you they call the minority, do you not see the insult in that word? Minority tribes. Minority. And some of you actually accepted yourselves as minority. You are a nationality, ethnic nationality, a tribe, for God's sake. Does that not even tell you the inequality in this contraption at all? Minority group, minority tribe. The minority will suffer if Nigeria break up. Oh, don't join us with the Igbo. So we are going to suffer. The minority will suffer. Are you enjoying anything in this contraption right now as a minority? At least, let's start from where you are, your own state. In my own state, Ogun State, we have more than 15 sort of tribes. Okay? And if it is by land mass, okay, then you say you have 3 major ones. So they put all of us together, the Ijebus, the Remos, the Egbas, and the Aworis, the Yewas. Now, you see, in the political permutation to bring equity, justice, and fairness, okay, they were supposed to be rotating the power among these 3 major regions in Ogun State. The Ijebus, once the Ijebus have it, the Egbas will have it, the Remos will have it, the Yewas will have it. But whenever it comes to the turn of the Yewas, the Ijebus, the Egbas, the Remos, they will team together and use their size to snatch that power from them. Who is speaking for the Yewa people? I'm using my own state, too. You can use your own state, too. Some of you can practically tell who dominates who in your different states right now. You know where you come from, Abi? Those artificial states. You know who dominates who. I come from the tribe who has been politically dominating others in Ogun State. I have no part in it, too. Okay? Well, I couldn't have any part in it anyway. But I'm only using that as an example to let you know that if anybody is telling you that the breakup of Nigeria is going to make the minority suffer, are they enjoying right now in Nigeria? And do you know why they are not? Because nobody was consulted before any state was created. None of us was actually asked where we wanted to be. None of us. They sat somewhere as political friends for their political agendas, and they started drawing it, and that's it. We've created this, just live with it. Live with it. You want to complain, oh, this is not fair, this is not fair. Well, who are you going to complain to? This is what Nigeria is right now. A regional system gives an opportunity to every tribe from every part to choose where they want to belong to and why. Yeah. You can choose where you want to belong to And if all the conditions that you want to keep your own people protected, your interests protected, your land protected, if all these are met, then you can be part of that union. You can be part of that region. That is what it means to form alliance or form a country with people of like minds, that you share things in common, and you have to respect all those boundaries. Nigeria doesn't have that. We're not given that. They said it's non-negotiable. We're just to take it and make it work. Just make it work. Come on. You guys should learn how to live together. Come on, come together. It doesn't work that way. It will never work that way. But let us continue to kick the can down the